When you think of money, you probably imagine banknotes, coins, or even your bank card. But did you know that throughout history, humanity has paid with giant stones, salt, cocoa beans, or even live animals? What we take for granted today was once unthinkable. And the most interesting thing, all these systems worked because what mattered wasn't the object itself, but people's trust in its value. Stay until the end because you'll discover coins so strange they would seem ridiculous to us today, but which shaped the economies of entire civilizations. Example 1. The rice stones of Micronesia. On the island of Yap in Micronesia, money was made of enormous limestone boulders called rice stones. Some measured up to 4 meters in diameter and weighed several tons. Obviously, moving them was impossible, so transactions were purely symbolic. If someone bought a house with a stone, they didn't move it. The entire community simply acknowledged that it now belonged to someone else. The curious thing is that even if the stone was lost at sea during transport, it still had value because everyone knew it existed. It's like paying today with a car that no one has seen, but everyone knows it's yours. Example 2. Salt as money in Rome. In the Roman Empire, salt was so valuable that it became currency. In fact, the word salary comes from there, because soldiers received part of their pay in salt. In a world without refrigerators, salt was essential for preserving food. It wasn't just a condiment, it was a strategic resource. Today we pay in euros or dollars, but 2,000 years ago, your salary could literally be a sack of salt. Example 3. Cocoa in the Aztec world. In Mesoamerica, especially among the Aztecs, cacao beans were used as currency. With a few you could buy food, clothing, or utensils. There were even counterfeits. The beans were hollowed out and filled with clay. The interesting thing is that cacao had a dual value, as a sacred beverage and as currency. It was as if today we could pay with coffee beans or bottles of fine wine. Example for cowrie shells in Africa and Asia. Cowrie shells were probably the most widespread currency in history. They were used for centuries in Africa, Asia, and Oceania. They were easy to transport, recognizable, and difficult to counterfeit. Their value lay not in the shell itself, but in their social acceptance. Curiously, they remained in circulation well into the 20th century in some regions. Can you imagine going to the supermarket today and paying with a shell necklace? Example 5. Animals as money in many cultures. Animals were literally wealth. A cow was equivalent to a fortune and could be used to pay debts, dowries, or trade agreements. Even today, in some rural communities in Africa and Asia, cattle continue to function as currency. It's a reminder that economic value has always been tied to what a society considers essential to life. Example 6. Feathers, precious stones, and metals beyond basics like food or animals. Rare objects like exotic feathers, semi-precious stones, and rare metals were also used. In ancient Egypt, for example, copper and gold were traded, but also ritual objects that had more spiritual than material value. Example 7. Vodka and cigarettes in times of crisis. In times of crisis, societies always find new forms of currency. During World War II, in prisoner of war camps, cigarettes became the primary currency. And in some Eastern European countries, after the fall of the Soviet Union, vodka was used as a means of payment. Not because it was official, but because it was what everyone wanted and accepted. A reminder that, in difficult times, money always adapts. Reflection on money today. If you think about it, we haven't changed that much. Today we trust in paper bills that don't really have intrinsic value, or in cryptocurrencies which don't even physically exist. In the end, what makes something money is collective trust, and that trust can be in salt, cocoa, shells, or an app on your phone. These stories show us that money is a human creation that is always evolving. Yesterday's weirdness may be tomorrow's normality. And you, which of these rare coins would you use to pay if you lived in that era? Write in the comments, like if you'd ever pay with something other than bills, and subscribe to discover more economic curiosities.